Hello everyone, my name is Craig Williams. I'm a commercial barrister here at Quadrant Chambers. I specialise in shipping, aviation and international fraud work. My QBiT talk is going to be on what are aggravated damages. As we all know, the principal function of damages is to compensate the victim of the wrongdoing. In tort, the basic principle underpinning the award of damages is that the claimant should be compensated for the harm that he has suffered and should be put back into the position that they would have been in had the tort not been committed. So what is aggravated damages? Well, these are damages which are awarded to provide compensation for mental distress or injury to feelings, either by the manner or motive of the tort itself or by the subsequent conduct of the defendant. And that is interesting because you don't often find the subsequent element being relevant to damages. So as such, the manner of the commission of the tort, whether it was such to injure the claimant's proper feelings or dignity and pride, may result in higher damages than would otherwise be awarded. But also, they are available when a party's subsequent conduct has had a similar effect. For example, in deliberately attempting to blacken the character of the claimant, or by making baseless allegations which have been proven to be false, which are also insulting in some manner, or by engaging in activity which might deter the claimant from pursuing or starting the proceedings, that would itself be able to be considered an aggravating factor to award aggravated damages. Such conduct or motive aggravates the injury done to the claimant and therefore warrants a greater amount of compensatory damages. Such damages have been awarded for various torts, including deceit, malicious prosecution, trespass to land, breach of privacy, inducing a breach of an employment contract, defamation, and that is probably the most prevalent where this is most commonly seen. As aggravated damages are targeted at the feelings of the claimant, and their loss of dignity, etc., they cannot be claimed by a company, which, to be fair, I suspect we all could have guessed. As such, at least in theory, aggravated damages are very distinct from what is known as exemplary damages. Now, exemplary damages are targeted at teaching the defendant that tort does not pay, essentially. Therefore, they have a punitive element to them, whereas aggravated damages are much more compensatory. Nevertheless, there's been confusion in the case law between the two, as aggravated damages does focus on these aggravating factors, whereas exemplary damages attempts to deter similar behaviour rather than compensate for the suffering of the claimant. In Rook and Barnard, the House of Lords took the opportunity to massively restrict the types of cases in which one can claim for exemplary damages. Lord Devlin pointed out in that case that when one examines the cases in which large damages have been awarded for the conduct of this sort, it is not at all easy to say whether it was awarded for a compensatory or for a deterrent or punishment reason. The House considered that practically all the so-called exemplary damages cases could and should be explained on the basis of aggravated damages. That is, as cases of extra compensation to claimants for the injury to their feelings and dignity. And indeed, it was that availability of, let's face it, a get-out that allowed them to restrict exemplary damages while still staying within the framework of the case law as it stood. It has been suggested that in order to avoid this confusion, that aggravated damages be renamed to something like damages for injured feelings or mental distress damages. However, the interaction of aggravated damages and those awarded for injured feelings irrespective of aggravating conduct is not itself straightforward and can be arbitrary. As such, the court has to be very careful it does not allow double recovery between the basic and the aggravated damages, so that the damages for distress, humiliation, and injury to feelings have been fully compensated as part of the basic damages. They should not be subject to further compensation in the form of an award for aggravated damages. In practice, it may well be of no great significance whether the damages are characterised as aggravated damages or whether defendant's conduct has simply resulted in the injury to feeling. So there we are. What are aggravated damages? They're compensatory damages to reflect the injury to a claimant's feelings or pride on the basis of behaviour either during the commission of the tort or subsequent conduct thereafter. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.